Kids, have you ever seen this book before? It's really good. It's one of my favorites. I have so many favorite books. It's got one word title, and the one word title is Sweep. Sweep. I bet you've swept things before. Look at how good this looks, too. He swept the leaves, you know, in the fall when there's all those leaves to sweep. One thing that's cool about this book, too, I'm going to read this part. Ed is the name of this kid. Ed's bad mood begins as something small, but before long it grows, gathers pace, and sweeps through the whole town. That's a bad mood, right? And then they say, an uplifting story about confronting big emotions. And you know how I'm so there for all the emotions that we feel inside. It makes living in a body and being a human very exciting to kind of feel the weather that's going on inside. Love it. So they did this. Oh, I better tell you who wrote it and stuff. It's Louise Greig. Louise Greig wrote it, and the pictures are drawn by Julia Sardia. Thank you, Julia and Louise. You're pretty awesome. You know, remember the spine? Look at how cool the spine is, and it just says right there, sweep, sweep, sweep. Okay. I get excited about just how books are put together. So we know this is the end. This is the end page, and these are the. I just love that they did this. Isn't this clever? They could have just put white or a color, but they really helped us get right into the book with that cover. I mean, the inside cover. So then we have this great little picture of him with that big pile. Look, he's got a mask on. It's called Sweep. So that's the title page. Ed in a good mood is a very nice Ed. Ed in a bad mood is not. And Ed was in a bad mood. Not one of those tiny whirlwinds in a teacup that blow over before they've even begun. Not a little bad mood. No, this mood swept over him like a raging storm and stuck. You ever had a bad mood that just sticks? And then it began as something small, really small. Hardly a thing at all. But before Ed knew it, that something had grown, gathered pace, and swept him off down a path. Ed's bad mood thought this was a wonderful idea. His mood thought it was a wonderful idea. It's like, oh boy, I get to be really mad. But the things that got in Ed's way did not think it was a good idea. Look, he's being kind of rough with the cat and the dog. They're like, hey, wait a minute, buddy. But they probably went, because they can't talk. Ed knew perfectly well he had gone far enough, but he could not bring himself to say, okay, that'll do. So he stormed a bit farther and farther still. Look, he's sweeping up. This is imagination again. In his imagination, he's sweeping up cars and trucks, and then he starts sweeping up buses and dogs and bikes, and he's sweeping it all up in his horrible, raging anger until suddenly the whole thing was bigger than him. He was taking the whole town with him. Of course, if Ed had looked up, he would have noticed beautiful things, the things that always made his heart sing. But he refused to lift his eyes. The ground was a lot more interesting, or so his bad mood told him. Let's be the bad mood for a minute. The ground is interesting. You want to stay mad. So don't look up, because that might make you not mad. And here's, oh my goodness, the whole town is just getting swept up in his bad mood. Look at this. Look at all the stuff in his bad mood. Everything seemed against him. But that just made him more determined. He dug in his heels and he kept going. Just Ed in his bad mood. All together alone. Is this really worth it? He asked himself. Yes, his bad mood decided. Yes! Though Ed himself did wonder just a little. Okay, bad mood. Whatever you say. Ooh, now it's dark. Now his bad mood had swept through the whole town. The birds had stopped singing. The flowers had disappeared. This whole thing was affecting everyone and everything. Good, thought Ed's bad mood. But really, Ed was beginning to wish it had all blown over like a whirlwind in a teacup. Now that he saw, it looked kind of grim by just being so angry. Everything was dark, and Ed was getting tired and hungry. He was finding it harder and harder to keep this up. Surely he would not give up now. Not when he had gone to all this trouble. That would be crazy. But something had to change. And he was tired of it, like it said. He's tired and hungry. And then something did change. A new wind whipped up. It began as something small, really small, that became bigger and bigger than Ed. It started blowing through that whole stack of everything in the whole town. And people came tumbling out, bigger and bigger. Suddenly, everything looked different. Everything looked brighter. The world was brighter. For a moment, Edward felt kind of silly. Had he really gone to all that effort for nothing? But at least it had cleared the air. The whole town was more beautiful than ever before. It had even blown something his way. A kite. Something that made him look up. He looked up in the sky. It lifted his mood higher and higher. His cat and dog are getting into the fun of it. Like, thank goodness he's in a better mood now. Yikes, that scared them. And suddenly, he noticed beauty all around him. It swept him away. And as for his bad mood, it vanished into thin air. Now, when it looks as if Ed just might, spiral into a bad mood and sweep down that path again, he thinks twice. His first thought is, will I? And his second thought is, or not. I could, but I don't. Which do I want to do? The end. Look, he's making leaf angels, like you make snow angels. I love this book so much. And the other thing that's so great about this book is each page has little details in it that are just amazing. It's just got such a great sense of whimsy. You know the word whimsy? I love it. Thanks for being here with me and reading it. Those moods can get like just like the weather, isn't it? Exactly. All right. Glad to see you. See you next time. Yay for emotions. I'm feeling them.